some Flavor Flav type shit. This is the Lab Chronicles with yours truly, Slang Hugh, alongside my co-host. Introduce yourself, my brother.
Finn, a.k.a. DJ Finn, a.k.a. Father Finn, a.k.a. all these a.k.a.s.
So this is like our first episode. I don't know if you want to break down what our focus is, or are we just going to talk it out and make the people figure it out for themselves?
It's going to be a music-based podcast, more leaning on the production side because that's what we do. But, we'll tackle most things music.
Indeed. And some things not so music, but still music.
Oh, that too.
If you get me. I don't know where you want to start with this thing. I don't know where we're going to take it because, again, we're stretching our limbs and trying to feel it out and see where it goes. But we got a few topics on mind that we want to break down and talk to people about. Where do you want to go with it?
I would say, let's talk about who do you think was the best producer of 2018?
That's a good start, still. That is a good start.
Now that the year's over, we're into February now.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think you would give producer, and what is your criteria? Is it the most active? Is it who made the best beat of the year?
Yeah.
Is there different producers for different lanes?
True. Like overground and underground type stuff? Pop, pop?
Yeah.
All that.
All encompassing, like
somebody who's versatile or just a one trick pony, so to speak.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest with you. When you gave me that question, I was like, yeah, that's a good question. And then I thought to myself, I don't read liner notes like I used to.
They're not even there no more.
Yes.
I think the only one that does it is Tidal, but I don't have Tidal. I think Tidal does actually still put the liner notes in there.
I mean, on one hand, I noticed that the producers are listed like they weren't before, like in connection with the song.
Yeah.
So you'll have it in brackets like it's a feature, more than it used to be back in the day, where you would have to read the liner notes to exactly know. True. Or know the sound of the producer because there's way less of them.
And there's a lot more collaborations
That's the
nowadays
next
too.
thing.
So
a lot more producers in general.
That's
true.
Wallop. Yeah. For true. My first nominee, I guess I would put, he's one of the legends, and he was very active, surprisingly, was Alchemist.
Yeah, he was one of mine too.
He's on the Benny album. He did 2 projects of his own.
Yeah.
He did Freddie Gibbs and Currency.
Yep.
Some other stuff I'm missing.
The Freddie Gibbs and Currency is why I put him on my nomination too, because I don't really listen to those guys otherwise. And that album was like one of the better ones of 2018.
I like Currency, but he puts out so much music that I'm not really up to date.
Yeah, can't keep
but
up.
I actually am a fan of Freddie Gibbs, so that was it was a surprising pairing, and it was a good project.
Yeah, I think all those factor in for me too.
And pretty much that was up there for one of my albums of the year.
Yeah.
The Benny album was up there for one of my albums of the year for sure.
Yep.
And he has a couple joints on there too, so.
He did Broken Bottles?
Yep.
Yeah. Which is one of the better songs on that Tana Talk 3.
Exactly. That's one of my favorite songs on there.
Yeah.
Other than that, you could go with, the Murder Beats, Boy Wonder.
He's on my list. Boy Wonder's on my list.
Yeah.
Can I have to put somebody on there?
Yeah, I mean, he probably had the biggest song of the year.
God's Plan.
Yep.
But that was him and somebody, no?
That was Cardo.
It was Cardo. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on Eminem's album. He was on, obviously Drake's album.
Yeah.
He stays busy.
Stays active. Did he do some on the Carter too? Carter's album? Was that? I might be mixing him up with Illmind.
Lil Wayne?
I just looked this up too, and I can't remember if it was.
Probably. I wouldn't. Yeah,
he wouldn't doubt. That guy stays active as a fact.
He stays active. He's one of the top producers. Period.
Yeah. You know what I like about Boy Wonder too is that, at least lately, I can't tell it's his beat when I first hear it.
That's true.
Which when he first started out, you kind of knew this is a Boy Wonder beat, but now I can't really tell. And that might be due to the collaborations.
And it might be because there's a lot of people that are emulating his style.
There you have it. That's a fact.
You know what I mean? So
that is a fact.
You don't even know if it's him or not.
Yep, that's a fact. Yeah, he was on my Boy Wonder's on my list too. So we both have Alchemist and Boy Wonder.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll throw my third one in there. For me, was Ninth.
Ninth Wonder. What did he do?
Wonder. He did the Black Thought was this year, wasn't it? The first one?
Yeah, the first one was
Black
this year.
Thought. Actually, sorry. I'm withdrawing that nomination because I wanted to ask if we could put in Cruise because the Soul Council would be in there for me.
Production crew?
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's a bunch of men, so they have an advantage.
It's hard.
But back in the day, we would have, not even back in the day, we would say the Neptunes today. That's two men.
Yeah, but they always work together.
Is that the factor, though? I agree with what you're
because
saying.
they are literally a crew. Ninth Wonder works
by
aside
himself
from them.
and with the crew.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
And what did they do?
Well, I was going to backtrack. If I'm just saying Ninth, I would say he did Rhapsody, he did the...
Rhapsody was the year before.
Ah, damn.
Yeah.
Takes him out then.
Yeah.
Because that's
Remember,
it.
she got nominated for Grammy last year, and the Grammys is
right,
probably
right.
next week.
He only has the Black Thought.
Yeah.
For this year. For 2018, anyway, you're right.
Yeah. But
sorry, Ninth.
Yeah, but definitely Murder. Murder's got to be up there. He did a lot of big songs. He did Cardi and Migos as usual, and he did Drake's. What's the one? Is it Nice for What? The one with
Nice for What?
Yeah, Nice for What. That was a very big song.
Yeah.
So anyone that works with Drake gets the nod.
Yeah. Canada's killing it, B, on the production. That's for damn sure.
T-Minus just did J. Cole's biggest single,
The Middle Child.
To Death. I mean,
what did you think of that song, actually?
I think it got hyped way bigger than
it was
what it is. Yeah. I mean, he's rapping. He's really rapping on it. The beat was good. Yeah. But nothing really blew. It never blew my mind at all.
Because to me, that might be his worst verses for the year. Like, out of everything that I've heard, I can't tell.
For this year?
For 2018.
Well, that one came out 19.
19, sorry. So let's say calendar year then. Mm-hmm. From 2018 January to 2019 January. That might be the worst verse I heard from him. Verses. Because he did a lot more guest appearances than his own stuff anyway. Yeah. Or KOD's there.
Yeah.
But that's another topic in itself.
It was good though.
No, I didn't hate it. Good. I just didn't think it was, like you said, I don't think it was that great. It was okay.
Everybody kind of hyped it. And they did. That's what you're supposed to do. They promoted it to make it seem bigger than what it really was.
But I kind of feel like that song is not making an album. It was just a throwaway.
I feel like it probably will now because it's so high on the Billboard charts.
Oh, okay, I didn't even know that. That makes sense. And then it has to go
number 4 right now.
Then it has to go on.
Yeah, so that means basically the album's already going to go platinum before it even is made.
Yeah, that's a fact. Then
that's how they're running it nowadays.
Yep, it has to go on an album now.
That's why Cardi B and these people their album's already platinum before it's even out because the single is pushing it.
Okay, so to bring it full circle, if you had to pick one producer who's 2018, the best for 2018, who would it be?
My favorite, or who would get the trophy?
Your personal favorite.
I would have to go with Alchemist.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, because he's one of my favorite producers anyway.
Exactly.
And he was very active for one of the elder statesmen. You don't really hear Primo and these guys, he did Prime last year, but those guys are not as active as him, and he's from that same era.
Yeah. And I will say that his, much like Boy Wonder, I don't always know it's his beats when I hear them.
No, me neither. I heard a Conway that came out maybe yesterday, and if he didn't say it was Alchemist, I wouldn't know. No, it's basically,
so
it was just basically
versatile, and he's been making good product for 2018. So, yeah, I agree. Alchemist, to get the 2018 award when we actually do make trophies. We might send you one one day. Go to the dollar store and then get something engraved. Do they have engravables anymore?
I don't know. I've never did it.
Probably not.
So another one we have on the list. This is a hard one, though. The top 5 producers of all time.
Yeah, this is a thing where eventually I think we're going to be doing top 5s in general, and we'll probably do this more than once. Yeah. Because it's going to change. Like
it'll change tomorrow. Change.
Exactly. It's the top 5 almost anything I believe should change.
Yeah.
Because your perspective changes as you keep going.
Yeah. But he would be in my list. Alchemist would be in my list.
All time?
Yeah.
Top 5 all time.
Yeah.
No, he's not making mine.
He might be the sixth man. He might be the sixth man.
I
The
don't even know
only
if
reason
I'd have
why
to
he
think
might
about it.
not make the top 5 is because I couldn't have him and Havoc. Because they're so he's
similar.
a student of Havoc basically.
Yeah. But
I would have to, and Havoc is
That's tight.
definitely in my top 5.
do you think Alchemist might have passed Havoc at this point? It's tough. It's
Not
tough.
with classic records. No way.
That's why it's tough, because Havoc has the classics, but Alchemist might have the volume.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's tough.
I don't know. Havoc has beats with Biggie, like even ones that you don't necessarily know that it's Havoc
He did
unless
it.
you know.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I don't know. Havoc is up there.
Definitely. I think they're both in my top 10, but definitely not in my top 5.
Yeah. Okay. Havoc. I mean, Alchemist might not be in my top 5, but Havoc is 100% in my top 5. 100%.
Yeah. Okay, so break it down. Not, are you going to do order?
I can't do order.
Yeah, order's tough. Well, I
can't
can
do
tell you
order.
who my number 1 is, but I'll let you go first.
And you know what? A lot of people say Dilla just because it's the thing to say.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
You know what I mean? just because,
Yeah.
you're supposed to put him there.
Yeah, it's like the Jay-Z, Nas, Tupac,
Yeah,
Biggie.
I mean, and he would be there.
Yeah.
He would be there because he has a lot of classic, some later
Yeah.
Tribe stuff, Busta Rhymes,
Yeah.
his own stuff, Slum Village.
That's a fact.
The list goes on.
That's a fact.
So I would put him there. I would put Dre in there.
Okay.
The rest of them are interchangeable because it's.
But that's why we'd have to do this again. So how do you, like right now, at this very moment, your top 5 producers? That's how we have to think.
The criteria I'm basically using is music that I've listened to over and over and over again from childhood, whatever. That's why Havoc is there, because I've listened to the Infamous more than probably any album ever. That might actually be my favorite album, but that's
Of all
another,
time?
That's another.
Yeah,
list.
that's the next top 5.
Doggy Style is another one of my favorite albums.
Dre,
so that's
okay.
why Dre gets the nod.
Yeah.
I like Tribe. I like
Yeah.
a couple of Tribe albums. So Q-Tip might be in there.
Q-Tip is highly underrated.
Very
in my opinion.
underrated.
Highly underrated. That
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. So he might be up in there. That's 3. And then, I don't know. Dilla.
Yeah, 4.
Wait, who I got? Q-Tip, Havoc, Dre,
Yeah.
Dilla.
Havoc, Dre. I'm surprised. Do you have one? I'm surprised you didn't put him in there yet.
I might just be forgetting somebody.
I'm surprised you didn't put him in Pharrell or Timbo. I mean, Neptunes or Timbo.
I would put... No, because the thing is, when it comes to Pharrell, and we had this conversation, Pharrell definitely has more hits than anyone that I could possibly think of.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily music that I personally listen to.
You know what we didn't do? We didn't specify. Top 5 hip-hop producers we're talking about?
Yeah.
It kind of has to be.
Kind of has to be because
yeah,
then you're going to go into the Quincy Joneses and the Princes.
Exactly.
And
And you have to think about Beethoven and then Monday.
you know what? You know who I'd put up there?
Yeah.
It would be probably I probably put Just Blaze in there. Because a lot of that, 2000, that early 2000s Jay-Z,
Yeah.
Rockefeller,
Yeah.
just that whole era.
Devil's advocate for me why Just Blaze doesn't make it, because I think Kanye's higher than them, but higher than him, and I kind of put them in the same lane.
You think Kanye has more beats, better beats than Just Blaze?
Kanye's like on the list for even 2018 best producers, if you think about it.
No, he had Daytona and he had the one song off of Tiana. That's the rest of them could get brushed as far as I'm concerned.
I would agree, but okay, it depends on criteria, because impact, Kanye's definitely up there historically, period, and he's still active and making an impact currently, mostly off of antics now. Off of antics.
But I think Just Blaze just has more beats, more better impactful beats. Like,
When's the
other
last
than
time you heard a Just Blaze that you were like, whoa?
When's the last time I heard a Kanye that was like, whoa?
Tiana Taylor.
But what before that?
He took a break. I will agree.
And none of those beats, contrary to
crazy.
popular belief, none of those Daytona beats wowed me.
I think, again, this is a different topic, but that album to me was overrated. But that's just me. That's just me personally. I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot,
it.
but I didn't think it was as great as some. To me, it's not even the best Push album.
Oh, no, it's not.
Not even close.
No,
it's like,
not.
I don't even think it's third. How many does he have?
I don't know. But
don't even
My
know,
Name
but
is
it's
My Name
definitely-
is the best
it's
Pusha
up,
album
yeah,
to
me too. And the one after or before? What am I talking about? My Name is My Name. What's the other one, man? The 2 albums he had in a row.
I know what you're talking about. And then there was like they did the little short film for it.
I don't know that part. That one I don't know.
I don't remember the name, but we have Google at our.
Yeah, but and again, off topic, but you know how the podcast thing go. That's what's gonna happen.
I don't know. I'll still put Just Blaze over Kanye.
So
The only reason why Kanye gets it and he doesn't get it from me is just his own catalog. The music is good. So like that's out of Just Blaze's
for
hand.
himself.
Yes, because
artist.
the music is good. But as far as if we're going beat for beat, I think Blaze got more.
I don't know.
Because he got lots of Dipset. And he has Jay-Z. He has Jay-Z.
Yeah, but you gotta remember Kanye was making
He has Jay-Z too. Kanye has
he
Jay-Z
pretty
too.
much put 2 Chains on with the Lil Wayne tune.
Kanye made that?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so. I don't think he made
What's
that.
the name of that? Duffel Bag?
Yeah. I don't
He
think
didn't make that?
I don't think so.
I
Google
might
it.
be stupid. I might be talking foolishness, but I could swear he made that.
I don't think he did.
But okay, even regardless of that, Kanye at his peak, Dilated Peoples,
Okay.
Slum Village, he made guys who weren't stars for a moment,
Okay.
especially at his peak. I don't know if Just Blaze ever did that.
Just Blaze.
I mean, I'm sure there's a song out there that he...
What do you mean? Joe Budden's biggest song?
Okay, yeah, I give him that. You're right. Pump it up.
Freeway, those guys, Freeway.
That was part and parcel of being on Rockefeller.
No, but it's a big song. Rock the Mic. It's
Definitely, but it's in that. What I mean by that is, I don't compare Freeway to Dilated and Slum. Like Slum and Dilated wouldn't get that look, period. Whereas Freeway might still because he's on Rockefeller and he's with Jay-Z.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
But I don't know. When somebody has your biggest song,
Yeah.
multiple, even not to call them one-hit wonders, but when the same producer has your biggest song for multiple, like Freeway song, both of Freeway song, the one with him and Even Though What We Do Is Wrong.
Yeah.
That's Just Blaze. That's his biggest song.
Yeah.
Then Rock the Mic as a group, State Property. That's their biggest song.
Yeah.
Joe Budden, Jump Off. That's their biggest song.
Yeah.
Even arguably
You're right. He did make it. Some M16 made that.
even arguably Jay-Z's most recognizable song in a club.
Which one's that one? Get Your Hands Up? No.
Public service announcement.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's Jay-Z's biggest song, but
That's an arguable
if you're gonna
statement,
go,
but
if you're
yes,
gonna
you're saying.
go play a Jay-Z song in a club,
Yeah.
you're gonna go to
PSA?
that one. Yeah.
I'd have to take some time to think about that, which I get. That's mad top fives to be done. You could all do top 5 Jay-Z beats,
Oh, for sure.
which Jay-Z is like probably the best beat selector of all time. Him and Rick Ross and them, man.
So I'll put, like I said, Q-Tip, Havoc, Dilla, Just Blaze. I'm missing one.
Q-Tip, Havoc, Dilla, Just Blaze, Dre.
Dre
That's your 5.
for today.
Okay. My 5 for today, Dilla's number 1, and I'll tell you why. Even though he might not be as accomplished as the other guys, plus he's dead for that reason. But even though he's not as accomplished as a lot of the producers we named, quote unquote, he's probably my biggest production and music influence in hip hop. Segue into my number 2 would be Q-Tip because he influenced guys like Dilla and your Kev Browns and your pretty much everybody who makes the beats that I liked at that time.
Yeah.
That smooth knock,
For sure.
so to speak.
For sure.
That was going. Marley Marl, in terms of hip hop producers, Marley Marl's made many a classic
He has.
that we forget because we're probably too young
Yeah.
from the impact. But he made many a classic.
That's why I can't, that's why I can't go there because it didn't impact me personally.
It did for me in a way because I probably was just at the ending of his run. But at the same time, he helped me get into hip hop.
True.
Like a lot of the Jingling Babies, the Symphony, the even way back to the Shan. Was it? Why can't I remember it? The battle song.
With KRS One,
Yeah, the one that he made that started the battle.
The Bridge.
The Bridge.
Yeah.
All of those are big tunes in hip hop in general. So I put Marley Marl. So I said what? Dilla, Tip, Marley. I put Ye, man.
Kanye?
This is totally off the top though, but I'm putting Ye up there. And finally, Timbo.
Timberland, eh?
Yeah, for me, Timbo. I put Timbo because of the versatility, but if we're even just talking hip hop, I got even Jay-Z. Like, he has some of Jay-Z's biggest tunes, some of every artist's biggest tunes.
He's definitely
Timbo
one of the
did.
most versatile. He's.
Yeah.
I would go Neptunes over Timbo, but I can't be mad at Timbo.
Yeah, that's a toss-up.
Yeah.
That pretty much is it. What about, and I'm just saying, honorable mention, my boy there, he just came out, Poison, Swizz.
Swizz Beat, he's just not my
Me neither. I didn't really
my
like his
cup of
beats
tea.
back
Like
then.
obviously, DMX classic album.
Yeah.
Even the Locks album, the second one that wasn't on
Yeah,
Bad Boy,
yeah. Gave Eve a
classic
couple
album.
singles well.
He has Beyonce, Jay-Z.
classics.
Like he's
His classics.
definitely on the list,
Yeah.
but just not me personally.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even say maybe 10 years ago I might have put him there because
That's true.
I've listened to a lot of Swiss music,
Yeah.
but it's just like the other guys I name I've listened to way more
Yeah. That's
and
a fact.
enjoyed more.
I would tell you number 6 today for me, which I if I thought about it more deeply, I probably would have put him even on my 5. I just don't know who to take off right now, is Pete Rock.
Yes,
Highly influenced me too.
Pete Rock more influenced me as a group. Pete Rock and CL
CL
Smooth.
Smooth?
Yes. I listened to
Yeah.
a lot of Pete Rock and CL Smooth, but off the top of my head, other than like obviously Illmatic
Yeah.
and his compilations,
Yeah.
there's nothing really that jumps out at me and says, "Oh yeah, Pete Rock did that."
No, I can think of songs, but did they have the impact beyond just myself? Maybe not. So
Yeah.
I agree with you that way.
Yeah.
But I even like "Don't Curse" by Heavy D. That to me is a big tune.
That's a big
but
tune.
A lot of people might not agree with that,
That's a big
or
tune.
not even know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, but like I said, my impact from Pete Rock was with CL Smooth.
Yeah, I agree. I can see that. Well, that's the top 5. You guys got that from us. Hey, we're putting this somewhere, so there should be comments. Write your top 5 in the comments. Let us know who you guys think are the best producers, hip hop producers of all time, and we might drop those in our next list the next time we even visit this topic.
True.
Next topic. I'm gonna ask you about the homegrown man, them, or one of the homegrown mans that's been getting a lot of pub lately. Tory Lanez and his beefs, so to speak, or his challenges to everybody. First of all, how do you feel about the challenges in this itself? Like him saying stuff like "I'm the best" and "Pusha can't beat me" and nobody on Dreamville can beat me and this, that, and the third. Was it Joyner Lucas was the first one to jump out there?
Yeah.
Get crushed.
I would, the competitor in me is all for it because
Yeah.
you're supposed to feel like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like simple and plain. You're supposed to feel like that.
Yeah.
And for the people that are stepping up, he's proven it.
He's not lost yet.
I don't think he has.
No, he hasn't lost
I don't think
yet.
he's lost a round yet.
No, I don't believe so. However, I don't know if Joyner Lucas was the one that probably was like, okay, this guy should definitely beat him. but he didn't. Don Q, I don't think anybody really expected Don Q to necessarily beat him.
But you would,
because he's a
you
singer.
would put Don Q, if you had to pick without hearing them go back and forth, I would pick Don Q as a better rapper. Just a rapper, because I mean I'm a fan of Don Q, but I didn't expect. The thing about Tory Lane, he's so much more legible, like more, you can just hear every word he's saying, and it's just very concise.
Yeah.
And he can emulate people's styles.
Yeah, you gave the PC. I was just about to say, too. I like Tory Lanez. I mean, I shouldn't even, okay. I like his success coming from where he's coming from.
Okay.
I will say that. I will also say is that he's probably one of the best chameleons ever in the game.
Yep.
If he's on a beat that somebody else used before, he's going to sound like that person, but still like himself.
Yep.
At the same time. So that's where because the one he did against Don Q, the Duppy Freestyle, it's like Duppy Freestyle remix.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. But it sounds tough.
Yeah.
It sounds from Controller remix.
Yep.
Which he did better, to me, was better than the real Controller.
Drake's version, yep.
So Tory Lanez is a very talented guy that way. I think we count him out as a rapper because of late he's been more of a singer.
Yeah. I mean, he's come out, all of his biggest songs have been
the singing ones.
Melodically based.
That's a fact.
So, like, we know, I mean, people from Toronto know that he can rap if he really wants to, but he's still surprising me, though.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the Joyner Lucas surprised me, or maybe because that was the first one. That one surprised me. The Don Q, not so much. Not so much. Maybe because I'm not so familiar with Don Q.
The Joyner it surprised me, too.
Yeah.
It did.
Don Q, I mean, should have did better because he literally used to battle rap.
So this is what I think. Don Q, he tried to outsmart him, but it didn't work.
Right.
So basically, Don Q drops first, and that's one thing. I don't think if you're gonna battle Tory Lanez, don't ever go first.
Clearly.
Don't ever go first.
That's clearly
because
the
he's
thing.
just gonna. He could always just use the excuse. I'm busy. I'm taking time out of this to do this to help you. So if you really, you got to get him irritated enough for him to go first.
Right.
Which I don't think will ever happen.
No, because he's strategizing.
Exactly. Yeah. So when Don Q went first, I think he had the second one in the tuck already.
Right.
So when Tory dropped, he dropped the second one, and the second one was pretty lackluster. I mean, he's rapping, but he's not being specific. He's not addressing anything that he said on his diss specifically.
Which is why you think he already had it.
Yeah, so he's just doing it to say, okay, you drop something, I'm going to go drop right away because I already have it.
Yeah, I'm ready for you. Which, I mean, of late, that's the deal. Like, or maybe I guess that's always been the historical deal that you got to be ready to drop like 4 or 5 songs if you have to against the man. But I even was watching the Joe Budden podcast, and he was talking about how back in the day the man had to be ready with 300 bars.
Yeah.
For a man.
Yep.
Nowadays, not so much. You're kind of making a song more than anything. A 16 or 2 16s and you're good.
But he went for a while though.
For a minute, yeah.
Both of them did actually.
I mean, hip hop wise, I appreciate it. I think also, again, I was surprised because I didn't expect Tory Lanez to jump out like that and challenge literally everybody. And then he backed it up by winning.
Yeah, but I feel like he kind of backed himself into a corner where he had to. He had to because the way the Jordan one started, I believe he was on Instagram Live and somebody said, "Oh, what about Joyner?"
Yes.
And he's like, "Yo, I'll body him too." Basically,
he said it about everybody.
And then Joyner, took offense to it and then jumped out the window. But like, so now it's like if anybody says, "Oh, what about him?" He has to say, "Yeah, him too."
Yeah.
No matter who it is.
It doesn't matter who it is.
So, and if they go first, you're probably going to get a response. Any decent rapper now with a big enough name, if they go first, you're going to get a response from him.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So a good strategy would be to just make sure your second one is better.
Now, if it's a guy like a Pusha, for example, I think he could manage going first.
Push?
Yeah.
I don't think because the way the attention span is, like whatever drops last is what's
the one
remembered.
that wins type thing.
Yeah, I think.
What
But then again, that's not true in the case of Don Q because
There you have it. Well, nobody cared.
yeah,
That's kind of how Tory Lane's because he's quote unquote the underdog in almost all these situations.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes out and it's even
remotely
good, it's like you lost, bro.
Yeah.
Because you should have let the singing nigga beat you.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
lost, bro. That's
Exactly.
it. I the one guy I think, not even the one guy. I don't think that he necessarily could beat Tory, but I think they're more in the same lane is JID. I actually want to see that.
Yeah,
That
he
would
has
be interesting.
He has nothing to lose.
Right. That would be interesting. And he's, which I'm surprised it hasn't popped off yet. Maybe he's taking the same idea that you're saying and not going first. But he had some Instagram live where he's like, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting. Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay.
You can't. I don't think you can go first at this
Yeah,
point.
you have to wait it out.
You can't.
You have to wait it out.
That's
We'll see,
why
though.
even
It's
in
cool.
battle rap, a lot of the time, when the coin flipped, people are like, "Oh, you let him go first."
Yes, because you're right. The last thing most people hear is what they remember and what they consider to be better, even when it's not necessary. You have to be kind of terrible to not take the win on that one.
True that.
Where you want to go next? Where you want to go? We have the. Neither of us watched it. We had that Big Boy and Travis Scott. It's more about how you feel about them doing the Super Bowl in general.
We can kind of get that one out the way.
Yeah, because it'd probably be quick.
Yeah, I really, at this point, it's like, what is the,
What's the goal?
what's the goal? Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
are we boycotting you? Are we not?
Yeah.
Because if we're not doing it together, then what's the point?
It's
Like,
not
I'm not
anything
really a
back.
big football fan,
Yeah.
so it's hard to even ask me because I probably wouldn't have watched it anyway.
It doesn't make you feel any different
Yeah,
regardless.
it doesn't really feel. I personally I kind of didn't want them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I liked when Rihanna turned it down. I like when Jay-Z turned it down. Cardi B.
Yeah.
But like I like that because it's like we don't need your approval. We don't need to be in front of your stage.
Yeah.
So it's like, but then again, looking at it from Travis's point of view, it's like it's your career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's something that could boost you to a level that you might not be able to get to otherwise. I don't necessarily believe that to be true, but if that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
And also in his defense, if it's not a unified front, you're always going to have some people backing your decision anyway, so you don't have to feel like you're doing something
Exactly. So it's like he shouldn't perform, but everybody's gonna watch it anyway.
wrong. Yeah.
So it's like, well, might as well perform if everyone's going to be watching it.
Yeah. Not to mention, the players are majority black.
Exactly.
So, I mean, like, there is no unified front. Ultimately, if the players are majority black, why are everybody else fighting for
The
them?
thing about with the players is I'm kind of on the side of the players. Like, if I was in the NFL, if everyone's not doing it,
No.
I can't stop because that's the only thing. That's the only sport that's not guaranteed contracts.
Yes. Yes.
So it's like I'm going
Yes.
to give up my livelihood,
Yeah.
and nobody else is going to do anything about it. So
Yeah.
then it goes in vain.
It goes deeper than that because that kind of brings me into. We could go deeper with the conversation because that would take me into a place where Kaepernick already jumped out for you guys. He jumped out in front of the bullet already,
Yeah.
and took it for you guys already. So, I guess you could use that as an example of why not to do it, which is I think that's what a lot of them are doing because he can't get a job in the league again. But somebody has to jump out first for everybody else to follow.
Yeah.
So if everybody's too scared to lose their money or their endorsements, then it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it's a cycle. It's a cycle.
But I feel like if it's not coming from the audience, from the black audience, which literally has nothing to lose except for watching football,
Yes,
then
That's
I
where it has
can't
to
blame
start.
the players.
I agree.
Because all you guys got to do is not watch it,
I agree.
and it would make a difference.
I agree. Mind you, apparently this is the lowest viewership in a long time for the Super Bowl.
For sure.
The
I can
lowest viewership
see
in a
that,
long time.
which is good, but I mean...
How
is
much
it-
of an impact is it
Yeah.
really hurting them? As a man said, these owners they're profiting before the gates even open on the season. Never mind the Super Bowl. They're
Exactly.
already
Sponsors
it's a profit
already giving them money,
Right.
and
Ultimately, again, this is not so much a music thing. It's not so much about Travis and Big Boy. ultimately, I think the goal should be to get them guaranteed contracts. At least a good portion of them, even if like 50% of the players are getting guaranteed and the benchman them aren't guaranteed. That's a different story. Like 10-day contracts in the NBA,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But for these guys to be literally in a plantation killing themselves to get paid,
Yep.
that's madness to me.
Yeah.
It's the hardest sport to play, and they don't get guaranteed contracts. That's madness to me. That would be, for me, the goal as a community to fight for those guys to get their guaranteed contracts. Because the guys who are guaranteed are quarterbacks, and most of them aren't black.
Yeah.
It's mad. It's crazy. But anyway, let's get back into some music talk. So getaway. What was I going to say here? Let's actually, because we both make beats, right? Which is part of the reason why we're doing this podcast. So I'll ask you one of those reserved for a guest questions, but it's a co-host question.
Okay.
Why did you start making beats?
Why did I start, or why am I still?
Both.
Okay. Why I started was out of necessity, to be honest. We had a group forming. There was 2 other rappers. I was the sometimes rapper. And we all put our money together, bought an MPC. I think that was 2002. And basically, the plan was we're all going to learn to make beats.
Yeah, it's always the plan.
What ended up happening was it never left my house.
Never left your yard.
And it's still at my house to this day. So I made
Familiar
probably
stories.
90% of the beats, if not somebody outside.
Yeah,
There was never... In-house, I made 100% of the beats.
See.
So that's basically where it started. And obviously, I wanted to do it. I was always into music,
Right.
DJing. So that's something that I wanted to do anyways. And I fell in love with doing it.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I started. The reason why I'm doing it now is
Right.
because I'm seeing a resurgence of the type of music that I like to make,
Right.
making a comeback. Or not to say making a comeback, but just like I have people that are willing to rap on my beats and I could stay active. It's not
Yeah.
I'm not making a living doing it. I'm doing it it's strictly out of love.
Although
So
that's part of the goal, but yeah.
So that's the reason why
Yeah.
I'm still making beats right now.
To this day. Pretty much for me, almost the same story. I don't think I started out of necessity. I kind of started. I guess you could say it's out of necessity, but I used to go to St. Augustine as in high school, and they built a studio in there. So like, we were already rapping already. Yeah, like the 4 or 5 of us were already rapping as a group, but we were going to other people for beats. Or is it the other way around? I have to ask Drastic. Drastic memory is like a friggin' safe. I smoked out a lot of it. But I don't remember which chicken or egg. But either way, the studio is what got me starting to make beats from them time there. And I think we were using like an ASR 10 in the studio back then.
Okay.
Again, Drastic and Moss and these guys could tell you because I don't really remember. Just so we could rap on them.
Yeah.
And then I think we didn't have the confidence in our beats. So we started to go outside. And plus, you're booking studio time. And one of the first guys was like Frank Morel, who used to use his studio and buy beats from him. Snooze will tell you this story because Snooze is the frugal one, mostly. So there was a point where I think we wanted a beat from Frank, and Frank didn't want to give it to us, even though we were willing to pay. I think we even were willing to pay more than he normally charged us. But he was reserving the beat for somebody, or like somebody with a name or some shit
One
like
of
that.
those.
Yeah. So from that point on, we were like, nah, we're not.
Exactly.
We're not depending on nobody else again. And then me and Snooze, big up Snooze wherever you're at, bought the MPC, and from there, it was a takeoff.
Yeah, I literally only bought my first beat ever last year.
Ross.
And I didn't even rap on it.
Ross. Oh, yes. So
it's like I've never...
Yes.
I've sold beats, but
Yeah.
I've never,
Bought it for yourself.
Yeah, I felt like,
Yet to this day.
I'm like, why am I buying beats?
It makes sense, though. It's funny. That's what got me started. Was out of necessity. What made me start again, like because I put it down for a while and focused on just rapping. What made me start again was just I started to find it. I don't want to say hard, but not. I wasn't finding the beats that I exactly wanted. I would work with what I would get a lot of the times.
From other producers?
Right.
Okay.
Which, because they were free in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
So therefore, I started to feel like, let me just try. Plus, I wanted to evolve anyway. I wanted to, rapping started to fade for me, even though I still enjoy it. It started to fade. I wasn't so inspired to rap. I wanted to try another side of the music. And production was, I guess, the natural thing to go back to. Besides writing anyway, in general.
True that.
Yeah, so that's our history story, our my black story. I think we ended off on a classic note. The simple question is, simple but complex is the answer. Simple question, complex answer. What makes a classic?
Okay. The thing about that is because that word is thrown around so much nowadays.
Yep.
People are calling classics the day that it comes out.
Yep.
And I feel like that is not what a classic is.
That's a
A
fact.
classic has to age well.
That's a fact.
And it has to be a general consensus
Yeah.
that this album is a classic. It can't be like,
Does it though? Does it have to be general? Because you could have your personal classics like you have your personal top 5.
Well, it's not a classic then. It's just an album that you like a lot.
But okay, suppose it's, how do I put this? Suppose it's an album that you like a lot, and a good portion of people say it's a classic.
Okay,
But it's
maybe
not
I
like
shouldn't say
general
general consensus. I should say majority.
Okay.
Majority rules.
Okay.
If most people, I mean, who's to say what's most? But like,
Yeah.
you could tell. If most
Yeah,
people,
you're
if
right.
people-
You can
most
tell.
people say, "Oh,
You're
this
right.
is a classic,"
Yeah.
most of the time, it is.
You're right. I agree with that. I'll even put it into some context because where this idea or question came from. Somebody asked me if listening to Rakim now, do I feel like it's, I guess he's basically meant, does it feel like it's outdated or is it so classic that it doesn't matter when I play it, I'm going to enjoy it? And I think that's regardless of mood, but mood definitely plays a part.
Yeah, so that's tricky too because maybe there's classics for different eras.
Definitely classics for different eras.
So maybe like, because me personally, I don't know if I've ever actually listened to a Rakim album from front to back, to be honest.
I did. I know I did. I'd listened to Eric B. for President.
I'm sure I probably heard that in passing, but I'm a bit younger than when that was popping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard to say.
Well, when I even used Rakim, that was more of an example. Let's say, no, I can't use that. I was going to say Illmatic, but that's not. Let's
Like,
say.
see, those ones are like general consensus.
Yeah, that's a super classic.
Yeah.
That even, because I was going to even say when you said it's era specific, it could be era specific. There are those albums that aren't, that they transcend every era, no matter when you.
I wouldn't say that though, because I don't think any kid that's been listening to hip hop for 10 years now, I don't think that's a classic to them.
They might not even heard it, most of them, though.
Exactly.
Like your general consensus of a 10-year-old.
I don't think they would necessarily get it. Not to say get it, but just like it's if you weren't there, there's some sort of connection to you if you were there.
Yeah.
So like 10 years ago, that was 2000. What am I talking about? That was 08.
When what?
Just in general.
Yeah.
If you're 15, if you're 15 and now you're 25, Illmatic is not even on your list. You might even be 29 and Illmatic is not even on your list.
Okay, so here's a thing to me though, and maybe it's the old man get off my lawn. Are a lot of these albums going to make it to the Illmatic, the Hard Knock Life, the Ready to Die levels?
I think there'll be a few. Like the Kendricks. Like I think it's every year it gets harder and harder for there to be a classic. because there's so much more music
That's
that
right.
it's like you might just not have heard it. You know what I mean? And then there's just so much more music consumed that it just gets left in the back. You know, it just gets left behind.
And that is part of the factor. I would argue that. Actually, I wouldn't even argue, but I would put the other point in that if you don't make it to the top to be heard, you're just not considered. Because it's kind of like, I'm sure even in our era growing up, there were some albums that were better than the ones we consider classic, but we just never heard them.
Maybe, yeah.
That artist wasn't big enough at the time.
That's true.
Quote, unquote.
But there's so many big artists that are putting out projects 2-3 times a year that I just might not get around to listening to it.
That even comparing them to themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Because a lot of people, you know, you think of an artist like, say, just like we're talking about, what's it called? Pusha.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I personally, like you said, I don't even think it's his best album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and his best album is not necessarily a general consensus classic.
That's definitely true.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
and I think that also factors in because Pusha is not necessarily considered a classic artist. Like
he's classic songs.
Yeah, but I don't know if people consider him a legend yet. At least not yet.
He's definitely a legend.
To me and you, but I don't know. Yeah,
No,
I really don't know if man think he's a legend. I really don't know. General consensus, I'm even speaking.
I would say general consensus.
People think that Push is a legend?
I would think so.
So you think if you automatically walked up to a man who you know likes hip-hop or is into hip-hop, I'm even giving that blight, and you said, is Pusha a legend? He's going to automatically say yes or he's going to have to think about it?
I think he'll say yes.
Yeah, I kind of think he'd think about it.
I could be wrong, though.
Yeah, I actually want to test that theory because I never thought of it before. I never thought until we just had this discussion. To me, he's a legend. To me, he's definitely a legend. But I don't know if he's generally considered. And the thing about Pusha, which is weird, is that I find that maybe it's the Drake beef. They've kind of made him contemporary again. Like he's part of this current class again. As opposed to a Jay-Z or
Lil Wayne class.
Lil Wayne or even a Rick Ross.
Yeah, even before that.
Even a Rick Ross is not considered a part of this wave, and he's probably his wave ended just a little bit before this started.
Yeah.
If it even ended, it was probably during.
Yeah.
So it's weird, but I could see it. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know if everybody thinks that guy's a legend.
I can't speak for these young guys.
That's a fact.
I don't know. I don't know what they think.
That is a fact.
They have some disrespectful views.
That is a fact. Very disrespectful. Like I always say, this generation is the first generation I've seen that is so adamantly, vigorously trying to erase history so that they can make their current history.
I don't even think they're doing it any more than any other era. It's just that there's way more content to consume now that they can't bother to go back. How could I listen to 2 Chainz, Lil Wayne, Drake, Travis Scott, J.I.D., Boogie, Kendrick, Cole,
and still go back?
And then still go back and listen to Biggie. And I mean, you're going to go back and, if you want to, you're going to go back and listen to the undisputed legends, the Tupacs, the Biggies, the Nas, the Jay-Z's. But like, what about the Busta Rhymes or the Snoop
you're not gonna
Dogs
get
or
that.
These kids are not going to go back and listen to
No.
You know
Nor
what
do I
mean?
expect them. It's not like we listened to every Furious 5 song that was out there. Not
Exactly.
even every KRS-One song. And I was a KRS BDP fan.
Exactly.
And I didn't listen to everything that they did.
And there's way more content now to consume, so I can't really blame them, but it's just like they're very dismissive.
That's kind of what I mean when I say that they are trying to erase the history.
Yeah.
They're, unlike us, the old man on the lawn, we were open to listening to Melly Mel.
Yeah.
We were open to listening to Shan and them Monday. These guys, I don't know if they're open or they just hate the fact that we say that those guys were better.
But I don't remember who I was talking to this about. We didn't have a choice. We didn't really have as much of a choice. Actually, we didn't have even close to as much of a choice.
Well, definitely not.
You know what I mean? Because these kids could literally listen to whatever they want, whenever they want, for free.
But isn't that then make it like, why aren't you?
No, because we're putting. Okay, so when we're coming up,
Uh-huh.
we obviously we didn't have YouTube.
Right.
So if I wanted to watch, I'll say a Public Enemy video,
You'd have to wait
I'd
to
have
see
to
it.
wait and
Yeah.
I'd have to listen to
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses,
Yeah.
Aerosmith,
Yeah.
Del the Funky Homo Sapien.
Yeah,
and then in my time waiting, I'm gonna be like, oh, who's this?
Yeah, that's true.
Let me take note to that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And
that's
then
true.
I would have to wait and people they'd be feeding music to us
Yeah.
that we'd have to consume before we get to what we're
We
looking
actually
for.
want to listen to, which is why I think we were more well-rounded.
Exactly,
musically.
because we're being force-fed.
Yeah,
And it's-
yeah.
you know what I mean?
That's a
Even the
fact.
stuff our parents listened to, we had to listen to because
Yeah.
what else are we going to listen to? We don't have money to go buy the CD or tape.
That's true.
Whatever's in the house, that's what
That
we
is
listen
true.
to.
Yeah, whatever. You're right. Which
So
is
it's
why
like-
you get
it's
acquainted
almost
with
like-
the classics. Yeah, that's true.
It's only too much. It's almost like it's too much freedom. Like,
Yeah,
you have to know what you want to listen to in order to listen to it. We didn't.
No, we just
Just
listen to
whatever's
whatever's
playing,
given
or
to
your
us.
brethren will come and say, "Yo, I just got this tape. I went to Atlanta for the summer. I came back with
Yeah.
these guys named Outkast. You ever heard of them? No, who's that? Yo, let me dub the CD."
Guy, it was even worse than that. 'Cause I remember moving to Brampton from Toronto, and I remember these. Yeah, I'm gonna age myself. Poison just came out. BBD just came out, and
Yeah.
I introduced it to Brampton, man. That I
The
came
reason
in
why I
contact
said
with.
that is because I went to Boston and I brought back Outkast, and people's looking at me like, "Who the hell are these guys?"
That's definitely fact. The New York trip was like a big thing back in the day.
Brought back Diggable Planets
Yep,
and
yep.
Souls of Mischief
Yeah.
came after.
Yeah.
But you know
that's
what I mean?
a fact. That is definitely a fact. That's a fact. I don't know, man. You want to continue, or you call it?
I think we call it.
They call it the first episode. This has been the Lab Chronicles. Yours truly, Slang Hugh.
Finn, what up? What up? What up?
And we gotta say we have a sponsor, golderamusic.com. Go
Yep.
check that out. We have the latest release from Mav and
Finn.
on there.
Abracadabra vinyl
Yep.
pre-orders are there. They're they'll be available maybe I would say mid-March.
Yep.
You know how vinyl takes a while to come through. You can go get the Slang's last project on there.
Get that.
You can get Cypher Soze's project on there.
Get that.
And a bunch of other singles, a bunch of other. You just go there.
Just go there, and there's more to come. It's gonna be a never-ending story like that long dog and a little boy I ride on it.
And the digital is free. For the Map Project, the digital is free. Just go on golderamusic.com and just put in your email and you'll get it for free. Digital,
Right.
free.
Also, it gives you contact to any of us if you're looking for beats and music.
Beats or just see
writing,
what we're up
anything.
to.
Music in general.
Follow the Instagram, Gold Era Music.
And this will be up there. So if you listen to this now and you want to listen to it again, golderamusic.com. Exactly how it's properly spelled. We're not giving you no hip-hop or patois slang with the spelling there.
Yep.
And with that, we're going to sign off. We ain't got no sign-off tag just yet, do we? We don't got no sign-off tag, but...
Boy!
Shout out to my boy Cardinal. Booyah! And we out.